Hello, welcome back to Mention LIVENODING. This episode, I want to share this breakdown of the setup I made using geometry nodes in Blender. So it's something that looks a bit like a barbed wire. It's like a kind of like a spiraling things over certain shapes, and this is actually pretty simple example, but I want to show you how you can blend two shapes together. So I have spiral and I have stars, and I could make the shapes kind of like following the stars, but it still have like the shape of the spiral as well. So let me try just play around with this. So I can control the inner and the outer shape of the star shapes. Okay, the shape itself is a bit flat. It's just like a flat shapes because we know the spiral looks like this, and star shapes, we can make any star shapes as we like using this node, simple node, but I kind of combine the two and I will show you how to do it. It's pretty simple. So star have inner and outer, and then spiral have a degree of rotations that we can use, and also it has a start and the end radius, so that can be different. So it can be less spirally at the end, but both can have the same radius. Of course, we also have the height, so that can make it more 3D. But we just zero out the height. We can also reverse. So that comes with geometry nodes, spiral and star. It's the output is gonna be a curve, but we kind of combine the two. How did I do that? I'm using points actually. So the setup needs to be like this because we want to sample the position of the spiral, and once it's more abstract, like the positions data, we can just combine the two using vector math add. So let me try to break this down. Okay, this is the end part of the nodes, the node tree. It's just points. We can specify the number of points, but before we do that, we just need the positions. The rest of them is like the radius, etc. That's not really important. This is just curve to mesh. I also have a set to spline, so just make it more curvy. Let's take a look. Okay, we just need position, so don't worry about anything else. Position, we can just plug whatever. Right, random value is gonna be random. Okay, but this position, how did we get it? So that's pretty simple. Spiral. Okay, this is just another extra. We don't actually need set position. This is just to add the noise on top of everything else. I can just turn it off. So this is simpler. Spiral goes to resample curve, and resample curve we can evaluate it using the length or just use the count. In this case, I use the count, and the counts come from this number. But the idea is simply just to use a sample curve. Get the curve, just sample the curve position this way. Don't forget, there's also like the tangent and the normal that you could use to modify the shapes. But the idea is really just using the sample curve. Okay, so as you can see from these yellow nodes, the spiral and the star, two different ideas. I could replace spiral with other things like curve circle, for example. The result will be kind of different. Yeah, okay. I think I can modify the resolutions. Not as obvious, but there's a circle happening along the star. For now, just, okay, go back to spiral. Spiral sample curve, and in order to sample the curve position, we plug in the position into the value, and the vector, this value of vector, we get it by remapping the index from 0 to this integer number, make the value between, remap the value so it's between 0 and 1, so we can plug it into the vector of the curve, okay, along the curve. So that's the setup. Once you do that, you can get the output, which is the normal, I mean the position. So we can just use add, we can combine the two. If we add the scale into this vector math, we can control the value, whether it's, you want it to be more spiral or you want it to be more like a star, so, or just a bit of both, right? Just add them together, just so this become the position, you plug it into position. So if you want to simplify this, you could just copy this one, get this, get that, actually get the whole thing, maybe with a scale, duplicate it, and just group it inside the group, you know, what input you want. You will need to have the input of the geometry. You want to be able to control the scale, but the output's going to be the position. This is the scale factor, go out. So it's, this is a node group. So you can mix more of the same ideas. So the output's going to be vector. You can add this into another one. If you want to mix something else, another geometry, you can have circle, plug into this guy. So combine together, you're gonna have the circle, but I think it's slightly incomplete because we don't have the resample value. We need to have the count coming from here. So I think that should do the same job. If I use the curve spiral, plug it there, so if I use a star spiral as a star curve, combine the two, get the position, plug it there. So anyway, that's, don't worry about that for now, but that's just if you want to group it and make it a little bit tidier. Anyhow, let's play around with this a little bit more. I think it's kind of neat. Originally, I want to I'm using a math formula, and I asked the Meta AI to make like a flower shapes. Give me the formula to make a flower. I think this is gonna be for the next video. You see all these nodes, I'm actually using the math add-on to make this node based on that formula, but I think that's for the next video, otherwise it's gonna be too long. The same idea is basically, so the spiral can be augmented with the star. So the spiral thinks a little bit, it's like a star, right? The star can also a little bit more like spiral. So it's both at the same time, because they are like just like a shapes of things. This is the number of spiral we have being controlled over here. So we can have the X number of spiral going along along the circle. So I think that's kind of neat. I don't know. It's simple, you know. It's really simple. The whole node tree, and then you just combine the position of both, transfer it into position of the points, and then convert the points into the curve, set the spline type, etc. Yeah, simple, but you know, it's a combination of spiral and stars. Curve itself, of course, this comes with the primitive things. It comes with just a bunch of uh, different shapes, but you can always bring your own if you are drawing it with grease pencil. Or actually, don't use grease pencil, that's confuse people. Maybe just create a curve and then go to edit mode using tab, delete everything, draw your own curve. Okay, draw your curve, a single curve. We can go back to our setup, bring our curve in. So this curve geometry is not, it's a, we can just plug this there. Okay, it's very simple, but I like this ability. Okay, so our shapes and the spiral combined together into the shapes. There's this noise, of course, it's like the offset, but that's unnecessary. So this is the noise offset we can add on top of our curve. There is also this number. Okay, we can resample all the points, and then there's also these points with the count that we can control, so we can animate this from 0 until the last points. So I think, yeah, the setup is simple, can be more interesting, but that's basically it in the nutshell. I think set radius, set point radius. We can set point radius there, so we can control the points radius, which is cool, and we can also use random value for the point. Yeah, that's just for decorations, but it's neat. It's neat that we can have that. So point radius, what else I haven't talked about? So this is, it's almost like grease pencil. If grease pencil works together with geometry nodes, it's gonna be really powerful. But that's basically, yeah, spiral and the star together, mixed together. Play around with the normal. If use this sample curve and use the tangent and the normal as well. That can be handy if you want to make like a barbed wire kind of thing. What else I forgot to say? I guess that's pretty much it. And yeah, for the next video, I want to talk more about this, how I create this simply by typing the formula, and so it's become a value, abstract value that we can combine together with the points to create something else. Before I forget, I want to show you this as well, just in case it's useful. So it's a wave. How did I get the wave? Again, because this is a point. This is the points that's being generated from wave texture. So we have a way to create curve that looks like a wave inside geometry node. So we have this already. Maybe it's not as obvious, but we can do it this way. This is one way to do it. Not, it's the way we can do it using procedural texture. We can create curve using formula, I like this type of math formula. But we can also just simply use what we already have, like this, like a spiral, spiral, create spiral, star will create star. There's an algorithm behind it to create this. So it's originally it's just a bunch of points. So the points is augmented with this algorithm of the star and the spirals, and it's become the points can be a star, can be a spiral, and you can combine them together, like, because it's all kind of augmented. It's a just philosophically you can combine the spiral and the star, but just the way geometry nodes treat it, it's not that we cannot just combine the two and we get something else. We can, that's the concept, but in order to do that we need to go back to the abstract. What is this spiral and star were made of? They were made of points. They were made of points. And the points, how is it become a curve? Because we connect the points together, right? It comes back. This one's a little bit open, but we can close it. We can close it using close curve or something. Set curve, spline side click, so we can close, open and close the end there, because it's a star shapes. So curve can become points, become a curve, but the points itself, the points abstractly, the points has position. So that's important, right? In the abstract level, we can kind of mix the idea together. So yeah, hopefully this makes sense. Kind of, I went overboard, but this is one way you can mix the spiral and the stars together. All right, so thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.